Tonight, ISIS continues to terrorize nations, yet another death claim has surfaced from the group, this time targeted at an American hostage. Details at the top of our show.
Later, our vice president makes moves towards 2016. Is Joe Biden going to run for office? We have some evidence suggesting yes.
Plus, someone found Bigfoot. Maybe. A YouTube post is going viral showing something strange stomping through Yellowstone National Park.
Hello and welcome to the MCTV Weekly News Update. Today is February 10th, 2015. I'm Mary Murtha.
And I'm Josh Engelder. ISIS has once again left the world disturbed and baffled at what many believe to be a PR stunt, but instead proved to be a harsh reality. On Friday, ISIS claimed an American hostage, Kayla Mueller, had been killed in Jordanian airstrikes. However, the terrorist organization provided no evidence to support this claim. Today, both Mueller's family and President Obama confirmed the death of the young American aid worker, saying that ISIS provided photographic evidence of her death. The manner and time frame in which Mueller died is still unknown.
The White House is growing increasingly weary of the crisis in Ukraine. Efforts to achieve a ceasefire in Eastern Europe made it to Washington today, with a key meeting between President Obama and one of his strongest allies. Polo Sandoval reports on the call to arm Ukrainian forces.
Obama and German Chancellor Angela Merkel showing a united front against the Kremlin. The White House meeting of the world leaders could pressure Vladimir Putin into finding a diplomatic end to the bloodshed in eastern Ukraine. Ongoing clashes between Ukrainian troops and pro-Russian rebels are intensifying.
Instead of withdrawing its arms, Russia has sent in more tanks and armored personnel carriers and heavy artillery.
The president's strong relationship with Merkel could be tested if he agrees to put weapons in the hands of Ukrainian troops. That move is encouraged by Ukraine and some U.S. lawmakers, but strongly opposed by Germany.
I've always said I don't see a military solution to this conflict, but we have to put all our efforts in bringing about a diplomatic solution.
There's not going to be any specific point at which I say, clearly lethal defensive weapons would be appropriate here. It is our ongoing analysis of what can we do to dissuade Russia from encroaching further and further on Ukrainian territory.
Both leaders do agree current sanctions against Russia have to stay in place, at least until a ceasefire is reached. Merkel's assumed duties as diplomatic envoy between the West and Russia take her to Belarus on Wednesday. She'll face President Putin in a closed-door meeting with other world leaders. The urgency to find a solution growing as the conflict takes an increasingly heavy toll on civilians in Ukraine. Reporting in Washington, I'm Polo Sandoval.
In a blog post, Nobel Prize winner Malala Yousafzai has criticized both Nigerian and world leaders for their, quote, weak effort in freeing the Chibok schoolgirls kidnapped by the terrorist group Boko Haram almost a year ago. Yousafzai wrote that the girls had been from wealthy and privileged families. More would have done to keep them safe. In addition, Yousafzai advised that once elections are held next month, the Nigerian government should make the freeing of the kidnapped girls a top priority.
Violence flared in Baghdad Monday after the decade-old curfew had been lifted from the Iraqi capital. 11 people were killed in 2 suicide attacks in Baghdad, and 30 more were killed in a restaurant bombing. Despite the multiple impending threats, Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi made the decision in hopes of normalizing life in the city. The curfew restricted residents of Baghdad to be traveling between the hours of 12 a.m. and 5 a.m., a restriction set in place in response to the U.S.-led invasion back in 2003. At this time, no one has claimed responsibility for the attacks.
Skimpy outfits are standard in Brazil around carnival time, but at a prison? Well, it happened recently in a small city near Cuiabá in what some locals are calling a sexy prison break. But not everyone's laughing. CNN's Shasta Darling fills in the blanks.
A prison break that left very little to the imagination. 2 women in these skimpy police costumes convinced guards at a prison in western Brazil to let them in. And then, according to investigators, seduced them. Spiked bottles of whiskey were found next to the handcuffed guards, who were found passed out the next morning, allegedly with no recollection of the night before. In the meantime, 26 prisoners had escaped from jail in Nova Mutum, taking weapons with them. Police investigator Angelina de Andrade says the 2 guards and the prison director, who slept through it all in another part of the facility, have been charged with facilitating a prison break. They could face up to 4 years in prison. Police have recaptured some, But a manhunt continues for the rest. And the small city of Novo Mutum can talk about nothing but those female temptresses. Shasta Darlington, CNN, Sao Paulo.
This next story won't make you feel very super, but you may start to feel a little red. Henry Damon of Caracas, Venezuela, was such a fan of popular Captain America villain Red Skull that he decided to drastically change his appearance to look like the character. Damon went through several procedures to look like the comic book villain, including several subdermal implants on his forehead, several facial tattoos, and the cutting of part of his nose. The Red Skull appeared in the film in 2011's Captain America, the First Avenger, portrayed by actor Hugo Weaving. Damon's end goal is to get silicone implants on his face to complete the look. What?
I don't like it. It's, like, why Red Skull? Like, there's so many villains to choose from. You've got so many famous villains. Like, I don't know if you've read the comics, but I mean...
I can't say I have. I can't, no.
I mean, Red Skull, he's kind of interesting, but, like, he's from the, 1940s. But, it's kind of a weird look for him, I feel like.
And why alter your entire appearance? Like, why would you want to be someone, like a villain? At least if you're going to alter your appearance, like, be a hero, right?
I don't know, though. He's breaking out of prison.
Oh, all right. Okay. Fair.
It's fair enough, but... So it's time to look at our forecast for this week.
Here's Abby Pront with your weekly highs and lows report.
We'll see at least 1 foot of snow by the end of the storm, except for central Massachusetts, which will see 2 feet. There have also been strong winds throughout the New England area. Later this week, we'll also experience an extremely cold air mass, which may be the coldest of this winter so far. And who else do we have to blame for this cold and snow other than, drumroll please, Elsa of Arendelle? But just joking, guys, but in all seriousness, bundle up this week. Every day is going to be below freezing. Yep, all this snow is just making me wish for spring. According to our almanac, today's temperatures were 32 and 10, as well as today's average, which has been 38 and 17. Can you imagine that the record high for today was 56 and the low was -12? This morning's sunrise happened at 6:58 a.m. and the sunset will happen tonight at 5:23 p.m. Tonight in Poughkeepsie, expect to see the cold set in with a low of 10 degrees, a 30% chance of precipitation, and north winds of 5 to 7 miles per hour. Then tomorrow, we will experience a low of 18 degrees, a 40% chance of precipitation, and southwest winds at about 4 miles per hour. Speaking of cold weather, here's your highs and lows for this week. Today at Marist, we experienced a high of 32 degrees and a low of 10, along with mostly sunny skies and some snow earlier this morning. Tomorrow, it seems as if we will see a high of 27 and a low of 18, with mostly clear skies during the day and some snow at night. On Thursday, there's a 50% chance of snow with mostly cloudy skies and highs and lows of 28 and 2 degrees. As for Friday, we'll experience mostly sunny skies with a high of 11 and a low of -6. Yuck, way too cold for me. As for Saturday, which is Valentine's Day, the weather seems to be picking up for you lovebirds because we'll be experiencing highs and lows of 15 and 1, with mostly sunny skies by day, mostly cloudy skies by night, but thankfully no snow. As of now anyway. Then on Sunday, we'll see mostly sunny skies with a high of 14 and a low of -4. As for Monday, expect to see mostly cloudy skies with a high of 27 and a low of 3. That was your weekly highs and lows report. I'm Abby Pront. Now back to the studio.
Thanks, Abby. Well, in Georgia, it was confirmed that a man who was arrested for eating a cheeseburger while driving will not be prosecuted for his actions. The man, whose state residence is in Alabama, was ticketed for violating Georgia's distracted driving law. Officials in Cobb County, Georgia, where the incident occurred, mentioned that there is not enough evidence against the man to charge him with any criminal action.
It's Tuesday night. Union Square, anyone? Well, not so fast. According to a state police news release, 3 out of 5 Dutchess County bars sold alcohol to a minor in an undercover sting operation. In the operation carried out by state police and state liquor authority, authorities sent an 18-year-old volunteer into 5 establishments to try and purchase alcohol. The Iron Furnace, Hobnob and Pub, and Mulligan's Irish Pub were the 3 bars who failed to comply with state law and were charged with first-degree unlawful dealings with a child. The liquor authority and state police carry out these stings often in an effort to decrease DWIs among teenagers.
An independent community college is using its 3D printer for good by helping make prosthetics for young children. They call the project Hand Up. Gwen Baumgardner reports.
When her son Preston was born 3 years ago, before holding him for the very first time, Jamie Bundy asked something many new parents do.
You ask, does he have 10 fingers and 10 toes? And, that was a pause.
A pause because baby Preston was born with a limb difference called symbrachydactyly. His right hand was fully formed, but his left was not.
My biggest thing in my head was people are going to make fun of him. Kids are cruel. Kids are mean.
Now, 3 years later, Preston is getting a new hand in whatever color he wants.
I want to be an orange.
It's all possible due to Independence Community College's Fab Lab, a technology lab with the ability to create almost any object out of plastic.
We never dreamed that we'd have a chance to do anything like this, really.
But after successfully making Kara's hand in October, they wanted to help make more.
The hand works when muscle movement in the arm and wrist pull the electric strings and move those fingers.
While prosthetic hands can cost several $1,000s.
These hands that we're making today probably are going to have maybe $20 or $25 worth of plastic and then maybe $5 or $10 worth of hardware.
A new hand for less than $40 that can help Preston do anything he wants to.
We are amazed at the things that he can do with his hand that we didn't think that he would ever be able to do.
A new study will keep you awake and cancer-free. Researchers found links between drinking 3 to 4 cups of coffee per day and a significant reduced risk of endometrial cancer, a very common cancer of the female reproductive organs. 1 in 37 women are diagnosed per year. Researchers have identified 9 foods that could be associated with risk, and this time it's not just fruits and veggies. On the list are carbohydrates, butter, cheese, potatoes, and coffee. Coffee was found to reduce the cancer risk by 19%. Well, I certainly know that's going to make my mother very happy, that's for sure.
It makes me really happy. We were just talking about how we were so tired. We just needed coffee before we even came here.
I mean, coffee is the solution to almost all our problems, it seems right now.
Literally, now all of our problems, cancer included.
Do you drink it black?
No, I'm not that bold. Bold. But I know where all my thrifty will be going now. Well, after the break, Andrew Auger is here with the latest entertainment headlines.
Plus, Flynn and Brandon Berniger gets you the latest Marist news updates and sports updates. Don't go away. Hey, what's up? You're gonna be the one that saves me. And after
Yo, Drew, I got your text. What's up?
I don't know. Jake's been quoting lines from Pulp Fiction all day.
Yo, Jake, what's up? I don't remember asking you a goddamn thing.
What are you even saying?
Say what again? Who say what? Does he look like a bitch?
We are literally the only 2 people in this room right now.
That is a tasty burger.
Do we call a doctor or something?
I will strike down upon thee with great vengeance and furious anger. Now that's a threat.
The Middle Seats, every other Thursday, only on MCTV.
Annual Grammy Awards on CBS. We saw Sam Smith take home multiple awards, Beck win Album of the Year, and Kanye West continually losing his mind. What did I think of the show overall? Well, I didn't watch it. I mean, who even watches award shows anymore? I have Twitter. I can get all the highlights I need from people like What's Up's Brianna Flynn. Also, this past Sunday saw the return of AMC's The Walking Dead, which hadn't been on the air since November 30th, had strong numbers in its return, and also helped Breaking Bad's spin-off Better Call Saul premiere to record numbers for a cable station. As for those shows, I didn't watch those either. I mean, I had homework and stuff. I just watched them the next day because I have the internet. I don't live in the 1990s. All those paled in comparison to the return of HBO's Last Week Tonight with John Oliver. The investigative journalism comedy show had been receiving rave reviews when it wrapped up in December, and its return has been highly anticipated. What did I think? I didn't watch the whole thing. All of the best parts are on YouTube. I'm a college kid. I can't afford HBO Go. Wait, why am I qualified to do this again? Oh, wait, I know. Weekend box office. The SpongeBob movie, Sponge Out of Water, is surprised with $55 million, one of the best debuts in February ever. Jupiter's Ending disappointed with $18 million, while Seventh Son fared even worse with $7 million. Next week sees the release of the steamy bestseller adaptation 50 Shades of Grey, along with comic book spy thriller Kingsman: The Secret Service. That'll do it for entertainment this week. I'm Andrew Auger. That's all I have to say. You can catch my show, The Middle Seats, every week unless there's an apocalypse, only on MCTV. Back to you guys.
NBC Nightly News anchor Brian Williams, reportedly the most watched anchor in the nation, has been suspended without pay for 6 months from his position at NBC. After admitting to falsifying personal statements he had made about a helicopter coming down under fire during his time reporting on the Iraqi war, Williams decided to, quote, step down for a few days while NBC considered their options. After Lester Holt finished anchoring tonight's Nightly News, NBC President Deborah Turness announced Williams' suspension. Lester Holt will continue to anchor in his absence.
Wow, I mean, that's crazy news. That's absolutely crazy.
I didn't think that would happen. I really did think that he'd come back. I didn't think that they would suspend him for this long.
Yeah, I mean, when you talk about like what he's done for news anchors everywhere now, like everyone's gonna get the same treatment now. Like people are gonna investigate everybody, I feel like.
Well, yeah.
Anybody famous anyway, because if he's the first, God knows how many might have done it too.
And that's true. You know, your job as a journalist is to deliver the news with integrity and honesty. And if you can't do that, then maybe you don't deserve to be on the air.
It's honestly a shame. Like he was one of the top anchors growing up for us, I feel like.
Well, and anchors tonight, the news about Jon Stewart.
Yeah, Jon Stewart, unfortunately, and we just had the news literally right before we came on air, but Jon Stewart is leaving The Daily Show, and honestly, it's pretty sad. I might cry, but by the end of the show, we'll see.
You should replace him.
I should. I mean,
should.
We'll see. Maybe someday. Anyway, it seems like every time a politician visits Iowa, there is speculation of him or her running for the presidential election, and many are wondering if Vice President Joe Biden is among these potential candidates. The Huffington Post reported that Biden will be visiting Iowa next week, a potential indication of his plans for the future. Biden will be visiting Des Moines on Thursday to discuss the president's economic policies and plans for free community college. Despite speculation, Biden has not officially announced any plans to run for the presidency.
From heads of state to heads of campus, people in power are making headlines this week. This is especially true of our own Marist College president, Dennis J. Murray. He has announced his retirement. Brianna Flynn gives us a lighthearted take on the matter. What's up, Brianna?
What's up, Erin? And what's up, Marist? Though I hope everyone has been enjoying their snow days this semester, I'm here to talk about an email every Marist student received this past weekend that didn't come from John Gildard. I'm here to ask, what's up with Dennis Murray? Our Red Fox leader for the past 36 years announced on Friday that he will be retiring in 2016. And I can't imagine that there was any student, parent, faculty member, or alum who wasn't saddened to hear the news. It may be strange to picture a Marist without Dennis Murray. I mean, he's the president who's gotten Marist onto the Princeton Review's best colleges list. And plus, I don't think that any of my friends at other schools can say that they've had a casual conversation with their school president while they were walking to class, or that they've been invited for tea by his wife. And yeah, maybe you all hate the construction now, but you can't deny that our school's expansion has made it even more beautiful over the past 30 years. Did you know that seniors used to live in Foy, and Gartland used to be the coolest housing on campus, and Riverfest wasn't always a school-sanctioned event? We have Dennis Murray to thank for those changes. Under President Murray, Marist expanded over 100 acres of land and increased enrollment by 5,000 students. Based on Marist's growth, leadership as a college, and everything that our school has to offer for us, I look forward to seeing the new building that I'm sure will be named after our president. Hopefully it's not as hated as Fontaine. So get out there and get your selfies with DJM before it's too late. And on a more serious note, a special thank you to President Murray for making Marist such an amazing place for over 3 decades. I'm Brianna Flynn, and that's what's up. Back to you guys.
Facebook and LinkedIn are looking to increase the number of women studying engineering and computer science with a new collaborative approach. The two companies announced Friday that they are looking to fill thousands of well-paid technology jobs that are currently dominated by men. Mentor and support programs will be established at colleges to drive more women into studying technology and create prospective future employees for Facebook and LinkedIn. They are hoping these programs will grow globally at both public and private universities.
A soccer game in Cairo, Egypt took a turn for the worse on Sunday when angry soccer fans started a riot with the police. Taking place before the match between Zamalek and ENPPI, officials say that the violence was possibly started by fans who did not have tickets and attempted to push their way through the gates. At least 19 people died in the horrible clash.
Let's get a quick check for sports headlines. Here's Brendan Berniker with This Week in Sports. Hey, Brendan.
Thanks, Josh. Now that the NFL is over, the NBA is the main sporting attraction. And this Friday marks the start of NBA All-Star Weekend in New York City. This is the first time since 1998 that New York will host the All-Star Game. The three-day event starts Friday with the Celebrity Game. Saturday is an action-packed day with the Skills Challenge, three-point shootout, and the famous Slam Dunk Contest. Lastly, on Sunday, the East meets the West in what should be a great All-Star Game. In more basketball news, legendary coach Dean Smith passed away on Saturday at the age of 83. Smith was notoriously known for coaching the University of North Carolina for 36 years, racking up numerous accolades, including 13 ACC tournament titles, 27 NCAA tournament appearances, and 2 national championships. He won 879 games and coached the likes of James Worthy, Vince Carter, Jerry Stackhouse, and most famously, Michael Jordan. Moving on to Marist sporting news, after going on a 4-game winning streak, the men's basketball team lost a crucial in-conference game against bitter rival Iona, 89-67. Siobhan Lewis led the team in scoring with 24 points. In addition, Khalid Hart put in a valiant effort as he scored 19 points. The guys have their next game on Thursday against Siena at 8 p.m. The women's team took their 4-game winning streak to 5 as they defeated Canisius 63-49. The victory takes them to 12-2 in the MAC. The next game is Thursday at 5 against Conference No. 1 Quinnipiac. A Marist win will put pressure on Quinnipiac to maintain their seed as Conference No. 1. That's all for This Week in Sports. I'm Brendan Berniger.
Thanks, Brendan. Ever think that service at hotels was less than stellar? Well, the Henna Hotel in Japan plans to take the human error out of your stay, as the hotel will be stocked with robotic employees to serve your every need. The hotel, which is located at the Netherlands theme park Huitenbosch, will host 3 robots that act as receptionists known as Actroids, and 4 service bots to help with cleaning. The hotel, which will launch with 72 available rooms on July 17th, also features facial recognition technology and radiation panels. The manager eventually wants the robots to run approximately 90% of the property, the first step in a wanted 1,000 hotel rollout over the course of time.
For any of you conspiracy theorists and fans of the paranormal, the latest news has surfaced on the internet about the mythical creature Bigfoot. YouTube user Mary Greeley posted the video in December, but it only recently started receiving hype. The video depicts 4 figures walking among buffalo in Yellowstone National Park. Bigfoot believer Thinker Thunker from YouTube firmly believes that it is Bigfoot, as he believes that the way the figures walk among the buffalo resembles the walking of the mythical creature.
Okay, so I've been to Yellowstone National Park, and I can tell you that there is no Bigfoot there. Even if I'm not sure if Bigfoot is real, but if he's definitely not Yellowstone. I can't believe that.
But Josh, like Thinker Thunker from YouTube, that's a reliable source.
I mean, I know. He's probably reliable. But in all seriousness, Yellowstone, I feel like Bigfoot would be somewhere like just really random, like not Yellowstone. I feel like that's not random.
Like Hawaii?
No, but like somewhere like Africa, like I don't know, somewhere in Africa. That's where I always thought he would be.
Okay, so what's going to happen is Josh is going to replace Jon Stewart, go to Africa, and find Bigfoot.
Exactly, yeah.
That's all the news that we have for you tonight. Be sure to like us on Facebook and check out the new show on YouTube. I'm Erin Murtha.
And I'm Josh Englander. Good night, everybody.